Okay, today we're going to make a Star of David out of 6 strips of plain paper, 1 inch wide, 11 inches long. And we start by setting them up in the right angle with each other by taking a 30-60 triangle on a board and lining up the bottom on the top here, and then take a pen and draw along the 30-degree line here so you have a good solid line to line your things up on. Then you take 2 of the strips, put the one on the line right up to the edge of the board. Hold that with one hand. Put the other one on top of it. Put the top edges right together at the point and all along there. And you take a little piece of tape and tape those 2 together. We hope they hold. And if you go over the edge, which I did here just a slight bit, just take your scissors and cut the tape off. No big deal. It's the first one, then you do the second one. Again, lay the first one along the line with a tip right up to the edge of the board. Then take the other one, lay the edge over and match the tips up and keep it along the top of the board. So you want to get the angle as precise as you can. You take another piece of tape, tape that one on, give you 2 of them, take your third one again, line it up on the line with the tip right up to the edge of the board. Just take your time. Doesn't depend on how fast you do it. Take the other one and put it up along the top edge of the board. Line the 2 tips up right at the top there and the whole edge along the top of the board. And then another piece of tape, put it on, but it's best to put it on the sticky side so that you stick them together. There you have all 3 of them together. We're going to make out of that. You can set the board aside now, and we're going to put these together. You put one this way, facing to the right. You take the one to the left and put it, the bottom one under that one. And then you take the third one and you put it under the one you just put under the other one. Put those close together as you can so they form a neat hexagon right there. Oops, moved my hand a little too much, but you want them as snug as possible because the geometry of this is very important that you get the angles and things right. This one's lined up, this one's lined up, and this one's lined up. Then you take a piece of tape and put it right over the center of them to lock them in that position. Okay, now we start with our first fold here. Our first fold, we take this left one and take it over and take it almost all the way to the other one, just a little crack away from that, and parallel with the other one, and then we fold it over onto that one, lining it up as much as possible. Make a nice creased seam on there, and then fold it over again onto the top one to the right here. Make a nice, clean, sharp seam on that. And we take the second one, fold it over just a hair away from it, so you got some room to fold it again. Seam there. Then fold it over again, keeping it as parallel as you can. I see we're going to have a little trouble here. I didn't do that as well as I should have again. Darn it. And then I've got to concentrate more on what I'm doing here. And then this one along this way, fold that over, and then you go to the third one. All three of these are folded the same. Always folding over in a triangle like this with a little space so you can get them over. Fold it over on top of this one. And then down here, fold parallel with this one on top of that one. And this one you do something different, because this is going to lock them in together. So you cut just a little bit off of this, very little. Now, you can even take, it probably will be helpful when, especially when you first try this, take just a very thin piece off of the edge also, very tiny, so that you can get this one to go under. You want it to go under where am I here? You want this to go under this one. So you put your toothpick under there, and that's the trail you want to take. And the way you make sure it follows the toothpick is you put it on top of the toothpick. So this now is going to go here right on top of the toothpick to get it under there, and then it'll go right underneath there over to where it's supposed to come out. And so you then pull your toothpick out and pull this through. Pull this one through so it's snug, because it's locked already. Doesn't need to be taped. And we come over to this one, to turn it over. We've got this lock now on this side. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. So we take this over here first, just a slight bit away from the other seam so we can parallel to that one, so we can have room to fold it. Then over this one, get a good fold on there. Then fold that up this way, parallel with this one. And we take the second one, always going counterclockwise here, notice. Counterclockwise. Pull this over just a hair away, so you can get this folded over. good seam there. And then up here, fold it over again, parallel to that one. Nice, use your fingernail to make a good seam on it. And then the third one. Again, folding over. Notice how it's coming out symmetrical here. You know you're doing it right when it looks symmetrical as you're finishing it up. Fold that over just a hair away so you can make the second fold there. That's very important. You have a little room there. And then the third one, you can put that up tight. And now you cut that off again just a little bit. So you can lock this one. Like I say, first couple times you do this, when you don't have it quite perfect, just take a sliver off of here, and that'll go in there easy. So how you're gonna lock it? You're gonna lock it by use your toothpick here to show where you're gonna go. See, it's gonna go under there, and lock that one on. You want this one to come over on the top of the toothpick. So here we go. Follow the top of the toothpick under this one. Till it comes out. Take the toothpick out. Pull the unit that one through, and now you've got it locked on both sides.